Commission of Zambia is that they've decided to be doing things on their own without regard to stakeholders, who are mainly the people of Zambia and also the political players and political parties. This is very, very sad. And I want to earnestly and honestly appeal to the Electoral Commission of Zambia that please don't plug this country into turmoil. This country has been peaceful, Mr. Esau Chulu. This country has been peaceful, Madam, what's her name? Sikazo. What's her first name again? Emily Sikazo. And I'm extremely shocked about Mrs. Sikazo, because when she was in the civil society, she was very outspoken about these issues of how you conduct elections and how governments conduct themselves. But to my surprise, since she was given that position, she has now turned against the people of Zambia and what she believed and stood for. She earned herself eminence and respect over a long period of time. And the least we expect from her is that she should be in the forefront to be doing wrong things against the people of Zambia. Vachulu, my elder brother, my father, I want to tell you that that position you have, my dear judge, is a position you are holding on behalf of the 18 million Zambians. And whatever decision you make, my brother, with your committee, should be made in the best interest of Zambians, not in the best interest of a particular political party, whether in the opposition or in the ruling. Your decision must be above board and be based on your conviction that you are doing this thing for and on behalf of the people of Zambia. Kwena ba chulu nangu bakalamba bandi namupua, which I believe tamula apua, because you still have some integrity. Can you go to TV, address people and say, vote online voter registration, and only those who do online voter registration will be attended to exclusively, and that's the word that you used, during the mobile voter registration. Meaning, therefore, that those that will not pre-register online will not be considered to be on the voter register. My dear brother, just ask yourself where you come from, Eastern Province. Does your mother have internet? Does your mother have a smartphone? If your own mother, Vachulu, by Emily Skazo, tabakwata smartphone, tabakwata internet connectivity, how then do you expect those people in the rural areas to participate in the online voter registration? Because you are saying, look, in order for you to capture the 9 million voters that you want, the actual mobile registration will be complemented by online registration. How many people have smartphones? This government of PF has failed to take ICT lessons to primary and secondary schools in the rural areas because there is no internet connectivity and there are no computers. Now, where are you going to get that cheap is understatement? Because munga tatanza munga ndokwa block fuala aya fio mwafia lile wa na bantu baseka emuntu ushakwa tanson. And this is what we are exhibiting in this country at the highest level of chairman of the Electoral Commission of Zambia. Vachulu, you can go there and say, against the wish of the people of Zambia, the people of Zambia have said, look, this internet online registration is alien to this country. And despite the fact that it is alien, we don't infrastructure to undertake such an activity. Surely we should why do you want to the franchise areas? Even here in town, how many people can have a smartphone? About in this country, the phones that nani akwete uka phone. Tuma phone to 50 kwacha backward. These are the phones that to Chilanganda. These are the phones that people have in case mwalonka sana na ba America ngo kumona amafoni yakwata abantu. Amafoni yakwata. Number tell me how somebody can go online on a Kachilanganda phone. Chief electoral officer Nshindano. Senda kwe batu mwachi wandi Nshindano ilala sa. Nata wikete wino. Ukasango wati national yo Nshindano ikakulasa. Fwe bambi kwa kuya, we don't have anywhere to run to. The only country that we have, that we love, that we have passion for, is this country called Zambia. You don't mind sending this country into chaos, putting this country on fire. Some of us have nowhere to run to. Ichalo chesunomu in Zambia. Sweet home, lovely Zambia. Surely you don't appreciate the peace that we have enjoyed since we got independence. Why do you want people who are already registered to re-register by confirming their details on the register? Look, this constitution of this country, the 2016 constitution, is very explicit. It's very clear that they shall be continuous. Nimweba judge by Emily na Momo Adisambilila. We are not preaching to the unconverted. You are converted. If we are talking about religion or groupings, you are already converted. Why do you want to pretend that you don't know these things? Continuous voter registration implies that all those who registered when this constitution came into effect, meaning before 2016, those who participated in the elections in 2016, those who registered still are supposed to be on the register. What you're supposed to do when there are elections is to register additional people that are turning 18. But there's absolutely no way, my brother, Chulu, na papa tanga mwalikuwa tama tui, ngate ififia mwakwa tefikanda fieka, ifia abula iye drum. Nga mwalikuwa tefe iye drum, bakalamba bandi, with due respect. Mumfu efio nde mpapata. I don't want to sound controversial, but I'm appealing to you from a brother to a brother, that continuous registration means those who are already on the register, they've already got cards, still continue to be on the register, whether they verify their details or not. And when about Chulu, Dindimulota mwaba mathematics. But from what I know, the little I know about law, my son is a lawyer. He told me, how can you capture 9 million voters in 30 days? How can you capture Bachulu, by Emily Skazwe, Nshindano iwewe nyeleti iwe? How can you capture 9 million voters in 1 month? By Emily Skazumleva, please help us to capture the 9 million. How? It's practically impossible. It's practically impossible to capture 9 million people in 1 month. You are saying, no, it's because of COVID. I mean, you had all the time. Like I said, the Constitution is explicit. It said elections shall be held on the 12th of August. Since when did you know this? Since the last elections. So what are you telling us? that we don't have time, there will be no extensions. If you're mumbo, to wait all this time, do it haphazardly so that you franchise people. And surely, my dear brothers and sisters in the commission, you issue NRCs in Northern Province, which is perceived to be the stronghold of PF. And then before you issue NRCs in other areas, you have started voter registration. What happens to those who have not gotten reg numbers in these areas? You have defranchised them. So simple 1 + 1 is equal to 2. So let's start debate. All you want to do is to reduce the number of people who are going to vote. And you think, because you know that when a lot of people register and they vote, it is very difficult to rig. So you want to deal with a small number that you can manipulate. Electoral commissions are not meant to rig elections, are meant to conduct elections in a peaceful, transparent, and acceptable manner to the citizens. You have become so arrogant. We told you about the fees, that these fees are exorbitant. We presented you the figures. Still, Mwayawika, 98,000 kwacha, presidential candidate. Some civil servants have said, and I want to say it again, 100 to 120,000 for working for 30 years. A pension vapoka after 30 years. Are you telling me umuntu kutabula ole for criminal president kutabula pension yabo 30 years ayapila nomination? How is that? So when you are making these decisions, these are the issues that you must think of. Don't deter people from running for office by way of exorbitant filing fees. The nomination fees must be reasonable and affordable by every Zambian who wishes to aspire for office. But imo mwayabula mafiz mwayakusha, so that abantu bakale future. Teacher, a nurse, a policeman, miner, where are they going to get 98,000 kwacha to be a presidential candidate? Where are they going to get 7,500 or what is the new fee they have approved now? 15,000 to be a member of parliament. Where? Because the average earnings of civil servant today, take-home pay, is 1.22 million. I mean, sorry, 2,000 kwacha. How long will it take them from 2,000 kwacha earning, Varishavana, Bafrikiavana, Varipile school fees, no Kuika Kwea Wisari Pila nomination? How long will it take them? 5 years? 6 years? Please allow each and every Zambian to participate in the elections. Coming back to this issue of registration, Tuami Papata, revert back to the physical registration, give it a minimum of 2 months or 3 months for people to register, and stop tampering with the old register. There's absolutely no reason why people are already on the register, they've got even the voters card, should come to verify their details. And you are saying, if you don't, then automatically you'll be removed from the register. What are you trying to achieve? What are you trying to achieve? Abantu balembeshe to be on the register 10, 15 years ago. Me, I lived in England. In England, now your voters card, why have an identity, either a passport or national insurance number, driving license, ku voters center. Vaya mwanafyama details ya lipa ID, emo ya limu register ku vota. Imwe first and foremost, umuntu ngalufya voters card. Voters card. But ama details ya kwemo ya limu. Nation so much. The registers that are at polling stations now, even the face is there. I saw muntu nechin so much munate nyu wine na reg number ni mwamkanyo kuvota. What kind of people are you? What kind of people are you? Somebody comes with an identity, his face is in the book, The registration number is the same, but it just doesn't have that paper, that piece of thing called voter's card. You refuse them to vote. Now you even want to say, come and verify your details. If you don't verify, then you are out of the... Alabantu. People have got so many things to do in this country. If they've registered, they'll never bother to come and verify there. If there are people who have died, in fact, in the councils, by the way, everybody who dies goes to register before they bury. That's what councils are supposed to do. They're supposed to issue a burial permit. In the villages, the chiefs keep a record of people who have died and buried. If you want to clean up the register, go to the councils in Luansha, appoint 10 people. They go and compare the register, and people have died who are registered, remove them from the register by way of verifying with their relatives. But surely you want to start a new register in 1 month. You want to create a new register in 1 month. You have 10 years, there is absolutely nothing you want to achieve. Is just to defraud people. Because you knew that from the last elections, things may not be too good for certain politicians and people. And you've been directed to do what you are doing in order to achieve that. You send this country into turmoil. And you only have yourselves to blame. Austerity will judge their heart. Dear brothers and sisters in the Electoral Commission of Zambia. Mukekala, with a thing, everybody will be saying, these are the people that made Zambia go to war. These are the people that made people burn houses because of your carelessness. Would you want to do that? For me, I want to leave a country. I've got my grandson, Hilai, who is only below 2 years, a baby. What country are we going to live like? And other grandchildren? Because of selfishness, because of looking at your pockets. Please, it's never done. Who does that? Put a sock in it. That's how true. You've created your name over a long period of time as High Court judge, as Supreme Court justice. Why do you want to destroy your name over the 21 elections? My late father, the life of the human being depends on how you listen. You listen. But it appears for you people, it appears you don't want to listen. You want to do your own things. Nshindano. Please, be the Nshindano that you've been. The Nshindano that we knew in the private sector, in the NGOs. You are not the same, my brother. You seem to be a very different Nshindano. Do the right thing. So, in a nutshell, over this issue, one, please stop this, for a lack of a better term, but it's deliberate, this nonsense of wanting to create a new register. Leave the old register and make additions for those who want to register. Even those who want to register cannot register in 1 month. Look at the statistics that come to us on how many people they've captured in phase 1 of the national registration exercise. Just about plus or minus 250,000 people in 1 month. Now you are talking of capturing 9 million people. People still complaining in the areas where there was the phase 1 of the NRC registration, that time was too short. Much register 250 to 300,000. But we want to register 9 million people in 30 days. However, 9 million, because in the 30 days, the queues will be from the woodlands up to not civic center, up to Kanyama. That's how the queues will be, in case you are not thinking about that. Insoni, to be reasonable. Now, Papa Tabalungu as head of state, take control. Go and tell the Electoral Commission of Zambia, if you know my brother, because you see some of these things, you may test them, your own medicine. And when you test your own medicine, it becomes very bitter. It's extremely bitter. But MMD, buying people to vote for them. Milo never smumbale that there was corruption. People were literally bought. But it is MMD that brought this system of giving money in order to vote them. I'm not despising my elder brother, Dr. Mumba. I'm only giving a practical example. That certain things that you do and bring to the fore, certain things that you create may work against you in future. MMD, when we're in the opposition, we're complaining, MMD is bribing people, I thought when BF came into office, they could have done better by stopping that issue of bribing people. They've continued and doing it at a larger scale. Continued and doing it at a large scale. And now the MMD, which brought the corruption, the ones in the forefront crying. I'm in a very good position. I was in government, and now I'm in the opposition. When you are inside, sometimes you don't see the wrongs. And you look at the wrongs, what if you have a right. It's to experience why I'm going to work. Hello, because if you have to fly. Lesa engami kila mitima yenu inacho ndemi I'm for you people that you start reasoning. It's not late. Allow the people to register for a period of 3 months. Allow the old register to remain the way it is and make additions. Please abandon this thing of saying those who are on the register, if you don't verify your details, then you are out of the register and will not be allowed to vote. That is a wrong. That's a very big mistake you are making. And I hope I didn't misquote people. But I think I was very attentive that when the mobile voter registration comes, they will deal exclusively, isn't that what they said? With only those who would have pre-registered during the online. Meaning, therefore, that those who just come will not be attended to. Because exclusively, you'll be dealing with only those online. Nombaba kwata internet. Ngabanyine nuta kwata internet. Kumachulu. Naba emedi. Aba ichebenu kwata ka. Kangana yonse. Vala lembeshashani. And when you look at the statistics of how many people are connected to the internet in this country, it's far much below than the 9 million people that you want to capture. It's far much below than the population of eligible voters, mostly in the rural areas. Rural areas, Kambwili, I don't want to sound controversial, but I'm appealing to you from a brother to a brother. President Edgar Lungu, my dear President, with due respect, you said, I now want to be on top of things, the economy and otherwise. This is one area where you can show leadership. And I am convinced beyond reasonable doubts. You are reasonable enough to see sense in what we are saying. But don't get it. Because this thing can either work against you or work for you, depending on which side of the coin you are. Bachulu, Emeli, Bachulu, ba Emeli, Bachulu, na bonse mwe baba mu Electoral Commission of Zambia Committee, mbaka bandi balaba batano ba Alisinga. Miaka mwabomba mu council na mu civil service wingi. Kwa ona ola febu bu Alice Mwinga lelo pa election. Elo sharpo changa kwabuka confusion. Indi mangene mbaka kono kuma. So please, don't force the Zambians to do what Zambians are peaceful, would want to maintain the peace. I'm telling you this year, if you are going to be careless with this registration, mukatule telela lusambu sambu no ushalimo akabamo ichibemba chitila ukwali nsoke takwa file bantu wapewe nkwala kanoko mutanji ikanga lilele fibi no involvement in campaigns, it's becoming too much and unacceptable. The DMU was established by an act of parliament, and there are procedures in declaring a disaster. From what I know, the district disaster management team will sit and recommend that there is a disaster. From the district, it goes to the province. From the province, it is escalated to the coordinator. The coordinator does a report and sends to the president. To declare a disaster in an area, the president must sign a statutory instrument to say this area is now declared a disaster and we need relief. This thing is not happening now. Disasters now are only in areas where there are elections. That's where we are seeing the coordinator spend the whole period of elections. If you want to play politics, resign that position and go and follow President Edgar Lungu PF campaign. Who will have no problem with you. But if you are earning a salary from taxpayers' money, because if a person who's telling you the truth usually becomes an enemy. You are my relative, you are my younger brother. I have nothing against you, but I'm getting worried about your conduct, young man. I'm getting worried about your conduct and how you are being used. What you are doing is being used. And when the right time comes for you to answer, the time to rank on, all those people you are with will not be there. You are the controlling officer. You are the one who signs Ubunga Bufume, Uyeku Lukasha, Ubunga Bufume, Uyeku Mwansa Bombe. It is your signature, nobody else. Nguluve bakonke ililo mungu. Nguluve bakonke ililo mungu. They will follow President Edgar Lungu. If they find anything wanting in DMMU, they will never follow the vice president. The vice president just said, elo mwewe bachanda kabwena kakasignature mwako kwata kasuma bakaeka sanga fe palefia if you have illegal things mwacho anduka na pele bakadate baletu bakadate baleshanga it will be very hard for you alone answering to these queries. Every time it's a by-election, you identify that. That's when you go to roof schools 5 years ago. Nonsense. One stay in this way a long time. Our coordinator, nobody even knew them. The longest man at that DMM was a Mr. Mulenga. Was it Lunshano Mulenga something? He saved Kenneth Kaunda, he saved Juba, He saved Mwanawasa, he saved the Banda, and he saved the party by Michael Sata. Why do you think this man saved 5 presidents? Because he was not partisan. He was nowhere to be seen by the election. He did his job and attended to disasters according to the way he's supposed to do. Number one, stay out of campaigns, stay out of politics, do your job and keep your lane. Otherwise, at rate you are going, I feel sorry for you as my young brother. And then let's tell you much about TV. Exposing yourself. That will be the evidence to be used against you. Because people said NBC, if you don't know everything they capture, back by library, archives. Any clip you want, you get it in the library, including these private TV stations. That's one reason, one of the requirements of running a TV is that you have to keep a library, isn't it? To put all captions. It's very difficult to convince you because when we are exposed, and for a twin, you are getting evidence against yourself. It's a by-election where you haven't been. I've got it. I think we have a simple question. Which by-election haven't you not been? Amen. So you haven't chandaya. Amen. So you haven't. Muli seka. Emufumali la. Inana kweva as a relative, as a brother, as a fellow tribesman. Atingata ule foku mwemwine twali la mwanje. Aba fiash ba leta chifie tufomu konso. Chisesa chitontoli tomfwa. Ile chifufu konso. Chisesa chitontoli tomfwa. Ngata umfile what I'm telling you as your own brother. Continue. I was saying we had Mr. Nobody knew that this man was a coordinator of disaster management. We had the current deputy secretary to the cabinet, Mr. Kambwili. What's his first name? He was a coordinator. Who knew him? Who knew him? That was the coordinator of the DMNU. But you want my channel coordinator. Because of the way of conducting yourself, you're in trouble. And please, President Galungu, let's follow the laid-down procedure of declaring disasters, and let's take the things in disaster areas at the right time, at an appropriate time, and when these disasters happen. Not to get foolish obunga kumwansa bombwe kulukasha la by election. We am foolish obunga kulwansha everywhere like by election. That's not attending to disasters. You are looking at the people of Zambia as being very stupid and gullible. But one day, posterity will judge you very harshly. But now Kusanikwa we are playing. Very like Kusani. Off the issue of MMU, Richard Musukwa, my young brother in whom I'm well pleased. I call you combatant. Abandon that route of saying CM Kenan Pan. People of Mufrila, people of listen good. Yes. ZCCM Investment Holdings, SMHI, at the moment do not have what it takes and the money required to run for them to buy the shares from Mokani. What ZCCM Investment Holdings need to do on behalf of the people is to increase their shareholding from the current 15 to maybe about 30, so that we can share in the losses and in the profits of these companies. Even though there is a cost to it, when you increase your shareholding, you have to contribute to the capital injection in that particular institution, which you can do, but you leave the other 70% to people. Look, Glencore today is failing to run Mopani, not because they are stupid or they don't want to run the mine. It is because, excuse me, that mine, commercial change. People are handling me, you are not handling me. How can I be addressing this briefing while running? I was saying, what the ECZ needs is to increase the shareholding so that as a country, we don't just get taxes, we also benefit the profit that these mining companies make when they make profit. Let me tell you one thing about mining. Mining is a very, 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 very difficult sector because in every 5 years, there are times when the trend goes down, things don't move well, and you don't make profit. But you have to spend in order to sustain the operations. And this is the field where Mopani is right now. This is the period where Mopani is, where the operation at Mufrila, the operation at Kitwe is not making a profit. But the shareholders have to inject money to run the operation. I have been a contractor at Mopani and I understand these things. The shareholders have been pumping in money without making a profit. Now, when you look at the monthly budget of Glencore, who are the owners of Mopani, is 15 times the DGP of this country. The GDP of this country. Their monthly budget is 15 times that GDP. But because they don't want to inject money and come and get the profits later. This country, the government has no money. ZCM is as good as the government. Where are they going to get them? ZCM failed to raise it. $25 million to establish a processing plant for gold. They had to ask some Sudanese company to come and put $2.5 million to do a gold processing. Where are they going to get $40-60 million per month to run that operation? Where are they going to get that kind of money? They let down. Mwamba no Kulumba, Honorable Minister, we are in support of this decision by the government. This will end the problems. Are you sure? Are you sure, our union, what you are talking about? I warned when they liquidated KCM that this is the end of KCM. What is happening? What is the production at KCM? People have not been paid their pension money. People have been paid 50% of their pension. They don't want to pay them the money they worked for under KCM. You want to bring these problems to Kitwe? And you are parading surrogates. Yes, this is a very good decision. Let me tell you from my experience in the mines at the current moment, ZCCM Lusambo, Filawaile mkubepa abantu mufurila, na tupoka maini ifwe, tuala mingi shenchi, tomweve na mufurila, ni wuma piete, uputi. Ashile mtumpika fikwati muliba ichi. And what does Bowman understand about mining anyway? He doesn't understand. Bowman understands beating people, slapping the Kambwili parliament. That is job. And in which government can Bowman be a minister? Only in a government you are in a minister. Now I think Baba will take decision to appoint that chap as a minister. No, not same way I didn't have my mind. Yafilwa. Le wrestling shabant was a thriller. What kind of deceit is this? You want to mislead people. You want to pick up and to. What kind of people are you that can do things to you? From me, Kalumbia, the ones who are running Lumwana, not Chinese, to come and run that company, who would understand that at some point you need to injecting money with a view to get the benefits in future. Glencoe also is a good investor, but they are traders. You know that Glencoe are traders. And traders once sell today, get profit tomorrow. To put in money over a long period of time, will come and get returns they can't sustain. Not that they don't have money, but they don't want to spend their money like that. You need a proper mining house. Then increase the shareholding so that those shares are held on behalf of the people of Zambia. And probably what you also do is that out of the 70% that will remain, when government increases the shareholding to 30, the 20 you can give it, sell it to ordinary Zambians, indigenous Zambians, so that Zambians can also participate in the running of the mine and in also getting benefits from the mines. But you must know that there will be both ways. You have to share in profits and you have also to share in losses. At the current moment, the way government finances are, ZCCM will wait for government to give them money in order to run the mine. This government is failing to pay council workers. It's failing to increase salaries for civil servants. It's failing to pay lecturers. Where are they going to get money to give ZCCM? And ZCCM is going to raise money from the capital market. On the capital market, you don't just due diligence. And the first question they will ask on due diligence, why should we lend you money, ZCCM, where we are going to run more money? Why did Glenn leave? Because the mine was loss-making. We can't give you money and go and put it in a loss-making venture. Simple as that. So much no, from the capital market, it's not as easy as the machine. This serious when you are dealing with this national assets. See the mine. The fact that test production has gone down, this production has gone down, is one of contributing factors why the dollar is not 20. Now, which one way more panic compared to production, go for the watch to $1. And then the result, I go to go out. Abantu bakana mpokuli abana babo. Now, cabinet, President, some of us can give you advice, free advice. Not consultants that tweet as a consult. Free advice on these things. Learn to ask. Mwali tweet kwa kitu to asamisha advice. Lomo ya mkwewa bazeti sema majazi. Ukwa bulo kufutu kusayi. Na ngoku chitakuwa sawa. Mwewa ni Charlotte Pamansa. Pamansa. Uta. Take it. If ZCC at the moment cannot raise money from the capital markets, cannot run more money. The immediate thing to do for living is to find a good investor, a mining company, organizing mining company, that about the history of mining, and there are many. There is Anglo-America, there is First Quantum, there are those who are running mines in Chile. Go and ask those mining houses to come and invest and increase your shareholding. To say ZCC is going to run more money when the watching Pelesha, it's not going to happen. What is going to happen? Let me tell you, warn you people in Freeland. We have to find out Chinese. How do Chinese operate? All their contractors are from the same organization, NMC, Non-Ferrous Corporation of China. Look at who does the contracts at Chinese run mines. It is 15 MCC. They are part of NMC group. it is Jiangxi, they are part of the NMC group. My Chinese contract, and that is called in trading. You know why they do that in trading? So that they less their profit in order for them to pay less taxes. Chinese are the ones who are money, who give the money to Chinese. Start declare losses. Because once our contractors, they are from the same group. Kambwili office, a contract foot. This is what the Chinese are doing to do. So they'll end up bringing a Chinese investor there to Mopani, Mukalila, they are in quarantine against their own will. They've been in quarantine over 6 months. There is no government to talk for them. You removed people in quarantine from Sonoma Cement. Go and remove those at Luansha Mine. They are also suffering. You can't keep your people quickly as slaves in their own country. Please, I beg you, abandon that system running Mopani. They cannot. The only way out, if Glencore are going, the best you can do is find a proper mining house. So better still, negotiate with our Glencore. Glencore has been a very good investor, and they've been paying at least reasonable salaries, better than all the mining companies on the copper belt. Mukaleta ba Chinese ba foresha tungwe. Elo abantu nga ba complain imwe never government at kabeka 10 because you patronize the Chinese. Twapita ba issue ya Mpesa twala. COVID. Mwaisula maskulu. Chandakabo umawindi. In fact, this is what Chandakabo is supposed to be doing now. The disaster in waiting that we have is for those children to contract COVID. Yesterday, I took a walk these schools here, what are they called? The schools we went, Woodlands. I went just to see what is going on. I found pupils were at a parade. No masks, no social distancing. I looked at all the children who were entering and leaving the school premises. No masks, no social distancing. But when you were opening these schools, you told us that we are going to buy masks and we are going to distribute masks to all the schools. Where are the masks you promised the people? Hello, who put look, 10 kwacha to buy a mask to some families. That is making them miss lunch and supper. 10 kwacha kupelo mwana because bambi bashitafe bakata within 10 kwacha. Bashito musalu bapimisha na tusala divali abana. Now you expect that parent to get that 10 kwacha kuyashita mask. You opened the schools. Take the responsibility of the face masks. As if that is not enough, I went to Ivory College, where I've got my grand nephew there, my grandchild, my cousin's grandchild, and then I've got my nephew. When I was going inside, driving inside, the security man there was given a responsibility to be taking a temperature and checking we are going in. When I was going in, he never got temperature. I was with my wife. That's infested. Not to Pshanam, she walk from I said, can I take your temperature? Which way? I said, this is being foolish. I told him, you are being foolish. You were supposed to ask me to do my temperature when I was going in, because the whole essence is for me not to take COVID inside. Now, when I'm coming out, that's when you stop me at, let me take your temperature. I won't allow you to do that. Excuse me. And I drove off. But no, we have put everything in order. We are checking. We are screening. Screening, that screen. What kind of human beings are you? Permanent Secretary, Minister of Education, take charge. This COVID is not a disease to play with. Mwalipolomiapo 7 days ukulanyame nshieka non-stop. Pase mkunu wamenshi, wanu wamensha but ule mfwechilaka. 5 minutes later, wamfano kumfwa menshi yonse ya fuma ya mtoil. That's COVID for you. The body and some people are laughing at me. I don't come with COVID. My expression. What I said was a figure of speech. I said the behavior of government, in as far as social distancing and everything, masking and all that, clearly shows that there's no COVID. What I was referring to is that government should lead by example. Masking. Ngata bale extra mask vena, bale kwata ma meetings wa president na want to full tawachile mask. To ma believe ashana at COVID yako yake. If you na even it is ox. Because we not bale extra for bale but it was it's not that I meant directly that COVID doesn't exist. I said the behavior of government is giving us an impression. That's what I said. It's an oxy. They're just raising money. Because tabasaka mene. But COVID is real. And I'm telling you, it is a very bad disease. Mwilwali kaba na. Imwenga mwadi na kamlefu okufua. Mwadi kala pacharo kafue nifi. Luansha mind. It is getting out of hand. The people in Mpatamato, in Ron, have started suffering because of too much pollution. These Chinese do not even follow the minimum mining standards. How can you go and make a pit 5 meters away from houses? 10 meters away from houses, pit. Now, remember, section 1, pada pama wilo ya msewo ya kubaruba no ya kweitini pale panga popi. Near the people, and when they blast, houses are shaking. No kwambo kulepuka. Ama ndewa abantu bashita private houses. Lukungu timulande kwa abantu bale stay in hell copper, and when you inhale copper, you suffer from what is known as pneumoconiosis. Unless periodically you go to pneumoconiosis examination, which is the popularly known as silicosis. Balabanta baya silicosis. Nomba bale bafisha ukungulwa copper because it is from pepe. What the Chinese are interested in is just the copper, not the health of the people. And we have the Ministry of Mine. We have the Inspectorate of Mines not doing anything. Now, Mpapa takavien pulwanisha, see what is going on and stop these Chinese from mining closer to the houses of the people. If you so much want the Chinese to make money, let them relocate those people. Baka somewhere nice equal houses like there. Baka tobeya la maya ndelo bachite mine. You can't go and mine mumuswa abantu. Ukubachita contaminate, and there is a government. People have complained. No action is being taken. What is wrong is my business. Wrong is at heart to me. And I care for the people of Ron. That's why they trust me, and I trust me. Eba ishiba fyoku fulula balufianya. Bantu bena na matwali obunga shani, no alefo kumfulula. Tabali ngaba kulukasha omunga twali lobunga ama 50 kwacha baya musala. Aba kuluwanisha bali reasonable muibe paya pantu bali mikutani ne vote. Protect them. They are Zambians. Yesterday when I left court, spoke about the way I've been treated by Magistrate Simusami. My heart bleeds. The entire judiciary, I had COVID. Despite having COVID, he issued a bench warrant against me. Last issue bench warrant, I tell doctor attend to me, now a provincial health director, by such to confirm that yes, this man to run General Hospital, he had COVID, he was positive for COVID. We took another test last week on Friday, no, came negative. The magistrate refuses to listen from the doctor, says, Mukaele toa kulabu, akese to confirm. That. The doctor requests for specimen. Elwa tumakulabu. Aba kulabu nga pima. Tebe samkula na results yama test. Bapela ba doctor. Ba doctor ba chita pronounce kwebati this man was positive or not. No baba doctor ba isa kukoti mwewe na Zambia ngopata omunenu basimusamba na ngukumpata. Ba doctor banda tiari wela no. I now summon the lab assistant from Tropical Disease Center. I can say to confirm that she is positive. Ulupatolule Monica and fairness ile Monica, but everybody is quiet. Everybody is quiet. Pantu Kambwili Keni wakake baka muchite chintu. Ushubutu kila mutembo wamu hiyo no wakwe upoko. Yesterday we were in court. My witnesses were there. My lawyers were not in court. And you can see from today's newspaper, which is the Diggers. Here. This is Musa Mwenya. In front of the Court of Appeal. That's my lawyer. He was in the Court of Appeal. My other lawyer, Keith Mwemba, in the last sitting, told the magistrate that I will not be there available. When he was fixing the date for Monday, he told them, I will not be available, Your Honor. I will be in Chpata before another court. And he was given permission. Christopher Mundia, my other lawyer, was in court yesterday at the High Court of Zambia. And the notice of hearing, the notice of hearing, yava some lawyers phone. We are for an adjournment. Accord my witnesses once pele testimony in order for the magistrate to make a just decision. He refuses an adjournment. An adjournment on the basis that the lawyers are there, the best he could have done was to ask me to conduct my own defense and bring the witnesses on stand. Because the witnesses were there. And there was even another lawyer who came from Mundian Company. He should have just said, you are in a lawyer. Go ahead with the defense. Call the witnesses. I'm a witnesses. He says, I have closed your defense. But Chief Justice said, you just want me to be hanged. I have nothing against Magistrate Simusami, but it's the way he behaves and conducts himself. Why not allow me to finish my defense? Or my lawyers give evidence. Or I have to try and do my judgment. Everybody can tell out this case. You don't need to be a scientist. Number Lesotho Pepatalala. I am ready for anything. I'm ready for anything. But know that I've been treated very badly. Nala at Kenua Club. Shamfua, Konangolo Toalewa, Kuzetim, Navak sick of a doctor. If they want to verify, they'll just ask the doctor. So I get no club now, it's a land. Which was that Umuntu Adipata something against you. It's the first time in my whole life. But I didn't be London.
Thank you very much, President. I was asked this morning to what was my view from the trial of Simsamba to what happened yesterday in 2 words. I called it a comedy of errors. You see, criminal trials are extremely very important in the criminal jurisdictions. Why? Because the end result is it involves the liberty of an individual. In my many years of practice as a lawyer, I have never come across such kind of behavior as what happened yesterday. The worst scenario is when the lawyers are not there, the judge or the magistrate will just tell the accused person to proceed and defend himself. But to close it off, like what happened yesterday, is unacceptable and it is unfair. Would you, for once, even students of law, those who are Ziare, if you are asked a question, are you sure you can call it a free and fair trial? If you did that under my lecture, I will give you 0 out of 10. Because that trial will just be termed as unfair because of what happened yesterday. It is unfortunate in the jurisdiction of criminal law in Zambia. It sets an extremely very dangerous precedence which should not be allowed. We are not only going to read the lines, but we will read even between the lines. What was the magistrate up to? Why close the case? As I said earlier on, I have experienced such things before. But the magistrate judge would say, look, your lawyers are not here. I cannot adjourn it anymore. Go ahead and defend yourself. But in this case, there's documented proof that the lawyers were engaged elsewhere. But the magistrate decided to do what he wanted to behave the way he did, close the case and deliver this judgment. People would be wrong to start concluding that could be maybe the judgment is ready already to convict. This trial and conduct of the magistrate yesterday amounts to unfair trial. It should not be repeated by any other. I'll give you an example. My friend who was faced with a similar situation, where lawyers failed to come to court. Lamek Mwale was said, look, the lawyers have not been coming, go ahead and defend yourself. And you will call him the defense witness himself. It's unfortunate that it's happening today after so many years of Zambia's independence. It is our hope that this should be a wake-up. There is a matter which requires the whole judiciary headed by the chief, who is the chief of state of the judiciary. This is one of them. We must act. We'll wait and see what the justice will do. But in a nutshell, this is unfair and it should not be repeated to anybody at all. Thank you.
Are there any questions? If there are no questions,